Tonight, I'm going to be talking to you about whisker printing, why it's important, and how perhaps you could get involved in this research. My name is Julie Rogers, I should say that. And here we go. Sorry, I gave him the signal and then I took it back. I'm Julie Rogers. I teach high school science at the Park School of Baltimore. The Earth's climate is changing due to increasing global greenhouse gases. Extreme weather is affecting us all. From the fires out west to the hurricanes in the southeast, the U.S. has been hit pretty hard. In the north, the impacts of climate change are also palpable. Reputable sources agree that the Arctic sea ice has been decreasing approximately 13% annually since 1984. Our great-grandchildren may see the Arctic Ocean as a cruise destination. But what can we, individuals, do about climate change? In 2006, I took a group of high school students to Churchill, Manitoba, a small town on the edge of the Hudson Bay, to explore the land. These students became the pioneers of what is now known as ISOMER, the International Student-Led Arctic Monitoring and Research Group. What developed was the birth of a 30-year study of climate change on polar bears and permafrost. The students quickly realized that our work was so much more powerful with partners from Canada in Winnipeg and Churchill. But what is a whisker print? Whisker prints are surprisingly similar to fingerprints. Where the whisker is attached to the skin, a small dimple appears that is capturable by a photograph as a dark spot. My colleague and friend, Dr. Jane Waterman, pioneered this methodology of whisker printing in the hopes that researchers could get all the information they needed from photographs and not have to use the current methods of handling, tranquilizing, and tattooing the bears. Profile pictures of a bear's snout allow the computer program to extract reliable prints for comparison by using three anchors: the corners of the eye, nose, and mouth. It may seem easy to get usable profile pictures of these bears, but in November, they're really hungry, they're bored out of their minds, and they'd much rather be either sleeping or sparring as opposed to posing for profile pictures. On an average day in the field, we'll see about 20 bears, click about 10,000 pictures, and of those, about 1% will be usable by the whisker printing program. Just like an ink blot provides a record of our fingerprints for future matching, the whisker print library provides a means for tracking individual bears over time. The whisker print program, when matching prints, kicks out a similarity score from 0 to 100. The closer the number is to 0, the more likely the match. When the program identifies potential matches, that's when the students look at other pictures that were taken in the field, possibly of facial scars or the sex of the bear, in order to determine a match. This data gives us information on the size of the polar bear population in Churchill. Full body profile pictures, where all four paws are visible in one single shot, give us information on the body size and condition of the bears. A body index number is generated between 0 and 1. Bears with a 0.75 body index ratio between their girth and their height are healthy, and those who are ranking 0.6 or below are in danger of starving between feeding cycles. Female bears who are too thin will not sustain pregnancy. About 97% of the polar bear diet comes from seals. Bears only have access to seals when there's sea ice. Less sea ice means less access to food. Food scarcity is an environmental stress for all mammals. We think that environmental stresses cause bilateral features to become noticeably asymmetrical. Naturally, we wondered about whisker prints. Like fingerprints, one side of the bear's whisker print is asymmetrical to the other side of that same bear. What we found in our research is that the asymmetry within one bear is greater than the asymmetry between two unrelated bears. In fact, over time, we think this asymmetry is getting even larger, perhaps due to worsening environmental conditions. Further, captive bears serve as a control for our wild bear work. We hope that by photographing the bears from birth to adulthood, we'll learn more about how or if whisker prints change over time. This is where you come in. If you go to a zoo and they have a polar bear exhibit, try taking some whisker prints and send them to the Isomer website. Likewise, if you have a teenager at home, encourage them to come work with the Isomer group on Monday nights. We need everybody we can get.